Hey guys, Aidandabest and today I'll be joined by Jacob Booter.
Well met, lords and ladies.
Yes. And today we'll be reviewing episode 7.
Yes, friendly fire. And before we actually go ahead and proceed, I'm just going to steal Aiden's thunder a little bit here
Oh no!
because
Ah!
lo and behold, lo and behold, very surprisingly, no one's going to believe this. I actually like this episode.
Anyways, so let's talk about the events of this episode. And I rewatched it yesterday. So I should have the events semi-cataloged in my mind brain.
Okay, good, because I watched it a few days ago and don't remember everything.
Yes. So, first, for starters, I like the thumbnail of this episode. It looks really pretty.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, I just
Starting at the very, very beginning, I guess.
the very, very beginning. Yes. So yeah,
Okay.
this episode basically starts off where we ended last episode, which I will not be reviewing last episode because I kind of skipped out on that and it kind of lost its relevance. But last episode was decent with few plot holes, like for example, the dumping of game data. Like how will that free Theo? Again, like that's just a weird plot hole, and it's confusing. Like how? But there are some other minor nitpicks. I mean, I would say last episode was overall good, but this episode was honestly a great action-packed episode. Definitely was lacking as much in the story department. Like there wasn't as much story in this episode as obviously last episode, but there was
I
quite a
think the action really drives the story in this episode, which is
yeah.
probably why I like it.
Yeah. One aspect of this that you won't know, but I actually know quite a bit, because I watched some of their behind the scenes video about making Tari from like the times when they were like in the middle of producing season 1 apparently. So, and
Okay.
you know how our robot model has like a little heart like on her like and like on her design?
I honestly did not notice that.
Yeah. Well, that's based on her original design, which was a dark blue hoodie with a heart, like a small heart in the corner, kind of like she has in that design.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that was actually something I caught.
Yeah, I like that. It's always good when I realize there's a lot of people who animators who repurpose old designs if they look different, like concept art for characters.
Yeah, and apparently one of the original concepts for Tari was making her a full-on robot, not just having like enhancements. So I mean, that's kind of a, I guess, reference with the game and stuff. And then,
Maybe that's the end. Maybe she has no memory before.
ooh,
Maybe she's actually a blank slate and she only thinks that she's human. That could be an interesting twist.
yeah, it'd be sad though. Sad
Well,
twist.
yes, okay. It would be kind of sad, but then again, she's still sentient. She still feels the same way that
Yeah,
the other humans would. So honestly, they wouldn't make too much of it at the end, and maybe part of that would be her coming to terms with it. But we're going to the realms of headcanon here. I shouldn't get ahead of myself
yeah. All right, so
because I'm not going to predict stuff in shows. I've proven that multiple times on my channel.
true, yeah. Alright, so and then another so basically we get that cool fight scene and then we get a shot of Emlyn seeing Tari interacting with I forget if it was Lamar or Masa, it was one of them.
Yeah. See, I think I can't remember this, but in the episode, does she actually hear them say anything, or is
No,
it
she doesn't hear anything. They use some, I guess, some weird emotes, like three dot emotes, where basically she
Oh,
just
right, yeah,
so
to show they're
that's
conversing. I see.
and then
That fixes like
but
the one thing I have of the episode. Right?
yeah, apparently, she was saying is on open comm with Evelyn, or maybe Evelyn just saw them standing together. I don't know if she particularly heard them. I forget.
Oh yeah. Well, if it was on an open com, then Tari was really stupid for actually talking to them in any way whatsoever. Because I mean, come on.
Yeah. All right. So basically, and then the next scene of the episode is basically, we go back into the glitched out, Super Jump Mania. I forget. Is that what's called?
Um, I actually don't know. I don't remember.
But
But yeah,
one,
yeah, that
what,
is the Bell scene.
yeah, honestly though, I'm just saying though, like, listen, initially when, like, we get to see that, see, like, the glitched out Ultra Jump Mania, in the original episode, which I believe was episode 4, it was really messed up because, like, Theo could barely move and stuff, and now most of the time he barely glitches. I mean, the world's occasionally glitching, but I don't know. I feel like as the time in the weird Ultra Jump Mania world existed, it just kept getting downplayed. You know? I don't know.
Perhaps, yes. And also, there's also one other thing is that Belle says in I believe it was the last episode when she said, "Oh yeah, I've played copies that are far more busted than this one." And yet, in this episode, we actually see her, see her raging as if this is the worst copy that she's ever had. So actually, I have two bonds with the episode. Actually, now this is the only one. But yeah, I reminded myself of that.
Well, so my theory behind that is maybe her overconfidence. Like, I'm sure she played maybe glitch games before, but maybe like before she was so overconfident about it. Like, oh man, I've played occasional. I played consoles that are broken, or well, game cartridges that are broken. It's fine. I'll be fine. I can do this with ease. Underestimating the messed upness of the cartridge.
Yeah. Good thing they now have their newfound camaraderie, which actually really think this was a lot better this time. Like, it's a marriage of convenience for both of them. It's been the case since the beginning. It remains as such. But actually, in this one, they seem to actually be bonding and opening up to each other, which is what I expected was going to happen a little bit sooner. But I'm glad that it's here now.
Yeah.
That's part of why I think I've started to I actually enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, and one thing I will say, that this is just a problem with TV related stuff in general when it comes to like TV shows and stuff. Like when they have like a ticking time bomb, basically. Like in like a show where they have a bomb or something like that. Usually the characters get more or less time depending on the plot or episode. You know. I know they do lots of cutaways, but I'm pretty sure it's been more than 20 minutes episode-wise, or at least since the game and timer initially started.
That's a good point. The thing with a lot of showmakers, it's always about the idea of a time crunch to increase the stakes and therefore get a better story out of it. And the time crunch itself doesn't seem to actually matter. One of my favorite things to do actually in movies, actually, particularly when I watch movies with my cousin, is we'll both like start whenever we have there's a countdown, we start actually counting down wherever it starts off, and only one time in the movie Spectre was it actually properly done. Like if anything, the bomb actually goes off sooner than the time and Bond has already escaped. So yeah, just weird things like that, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just one thing I noticed about like TV in general. You know.
And if I could say going from the idea of TV parallels to a book parallel, actually, I don't expect the writers of this show to know about this book. There's a Norwegian book called Sophie's World, which is about the history of philosophy. It's something I got forced to read when I was in primary school, and was like, oh yeah, well, this was like, we definitely should not have read this now. But it stuck with me. And one of the things in there was actually that it was like a book within a book. The characters became so self-aware that they realized they were in a book, and they started like fighting against the actual author. And the book was actually written for the author's daughter's birthday. So the daughter starts leaving signs around in the airport before her dad actually returns home from war, I think it was, that are like controlling him the same way that he controls the characters, and gives them notes that are unexplained. So and that actually reminded me of the scene where Sophia does the same thing to Lux. He thinks he's been in control the entire time, and suddenly there he is getting a message on the wall, just like Albert Nach does, and there it is, instructions of what to do. I mean, he also gets a transmission, but come on. Weirdly enough, it pulled at my nostalgia, even though unintentionally.
Yeah, and apparently, Theo's been seeing some weird purple glowing spark, or like keep seeing some weird spark. that I don't know, like that was one thing in the episode that he saw. We saw it in episode 4, and I didn't think much of it. But I thought they were just hanging out on the server for some reason. So maybe like the file existed somehow, but I don't know. That weird spark is starting to feel really weird when you see it. Like I don't know. I think it's a weird mystery. I don't know, some kind of mystery right now. It's kind of confusing. What's like I don't know. That is one thing I've noticed.
Speaking of weird visuals, actually, I remember the 2D graphics that they have in here. Actually, that's one thing that you can do. You play around with animations sometimes when you have a 3D show, add some 2D things in there, and it makes it interesting. And then having a 2D show, add some 3D things in there, maybe like the backgrounds or something, a 3D. It can happen, and people have blended it well sometimes. In this case, they've rendered that up. I don't know when Sophia had the time to do that, but quite honestly, I don't care this time because it is funny.
Yes. So yeah, basically, she threatens Lux, like the media will eat him alive or something like that, and he's in public. Which I mean, you know, that's nice, you know, threatening him.
Yeah, again, paralleling the book that I mentioned before, but also not just to play around. This is actually like a serious stake thing that's happened.
Yes. And then that, so, and then apparently signals to, what's her, Elizabeth, I forgot her name for a moment, to murder Tari. Evelyn. Why do I keep confusing their names?
I don't know, actually. I think there's a character with pink hair called Elizabeth in Sword Art Online. Maybe you're thinking of her. I don't know.
I don't watch Sword Art Online. I've heard of it, just haven't seen it yet.
Fair enough then.
So yeah, and then basically her and Tari have a bit of a little scuffle, and I like that fight scene animation. It was really good. And then Evelyn's like, I could just kill everyone else in the game. Ha ha ha, I'm evil now. So she like murders Masa, and like he apparently vows like he's got to do something for when everything's over. Apparently, I don't know. Yeah. Is he going to awaken Lucidia finally?
Well, I mean, does he have the power or the know-how to do that? Because
yeah, I don't even know if they know where Lucidia is, because I'm pretty sure Lucidia is in the tube.
I doubt it very much. Like, I think it's going to be something else. But
yeah, what is he doing? Is he like gathering? I don't know. Because like they're gathering information already with the cartridge, so you know.
Yes, they are. But yeah, although Masa's, of course, you know, he has his own pride and his own arc and reasons for also being there, not just because of MD5. Because they had to convince him to come back anyway, so it's got to have another motive to be there in the first place.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of interested with it. Like, where they're going to specifically go with, you know. Especially, like, the finale, because, like, I don't know how many more episodes we're going to spend in this game as a whole. Like, are we going to spend, like, every episode up to like halfway through episode 10 in the game, or is next episode going to be a final episode in this game, and the rest of the episode's going to be about defeating Lux? Like the rest of the 2 episodes of the season is going to be about finally defeating Lux. I'm just wondering.
It might be about the information that is on the phone.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, especially at the season, like if they're going to go for like a season 3. Or if they're just going to cut it off at season 2, you know?
I mean, yeah, considering the amount of times that you've complained about the slow pace of the story and how nothing is essentially happening, rightfully so, might I add, I feel like they're pacing themselves. They know that this is something that they can carry on, and it makes complete logical sense for them to do so. Story-wise, I'm not sure how far that would go unless there's like a whole season in terms of searching for Lucidia and actually uncovering the truth for once, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm just wondering like what their intentions are, especially with this show, because I mean the views on it are pretty good, I would say. Like, But for an animated TV show online, they're not like hitting several millions, you know. They're hitting a few 100K views, which may be good because they have a merch store, and you know, maybe it's paying for itself eventually with the merch and everything combined. Plus, they do have their main channel, which gets like 1 million views per video. Personally, I don't really.
Wait, what? This is the second channel?
Yeah, it's like SMG. Their main channel is a lot more manic than this channel because they have a lot more, I guess, hyper jokes, and it's not as high quality on their main channel. It's more like fun content, you know, that they make.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really for me. It's not the kind of content I personally enjoy. When I rather enjoy like story based, cool looking content like this, rather than, you know.
Well, yeah, that's a strange idea that they've put this in here. I mean, I've made no secrets about the lack of quality I think that this actually has overall, but
I mean, yeah, actually, Tari did start in like SMG4 apparently, in like their actual original show. Like Tari was actually originally started as a character in there apparently, so, and then she got her own spin-off show kind of.
Well, perhaps that's actually her past then.
I don't think so. I mean, they've stayed like alternate universe, but yeah. In general, I would say this episode's pretty solid, and yeah, I'm definitely wondering where it's going to go with the rest of the season, if they're going to keep spending more time in the game for like a few more episodes in the game, or just going to cut it there and just have the game. Yeah. It makes you wonder, like, and like, are they going to defeat Lux and maybe have like, I don't know, a season about finding Lucidia, or like a season about like maybe about like Tari's place in the world, because you know, what is Tari's place in the world? Is she going to be a meta runner? You know, is she? What does she want? Besides people stop trying to kidnap her. Who knows?
Yes, that's true. Yeah, what would happen afterwards?
Anyways though, this is gonna be end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And subscribe to Jacob. Anyways, I'm gonna end this video here. So yeah, bye guys!